everyone, and welcome to another edition of my Facebook Live. I am Sarah Simon coming to you from a beautiful Appleton, Wisconsin. I am a Stampin' Up! Independent demonstrator, and I'm so excited to be here with you this morning. Good morning, Julie and Jenny. We've got a couple people popping on here. I am so excited about the projects that I have for today because you know how you get in a rut and it's like, oh, I feel like I keep doing the same things over and over again, keep using the same layouts, keep using the same folds, fun folds. Well, I came across a fun fold that I had never seen before. And when that happens, I'm like, oh, I'm so excited. I can't wait to try it. And so today we're going to be doing that. Good morning, Kathy Miller. Good morning, Betty. I'm so glad that you joined me this morning. So this was my first week of school. Good morning, Karen. So we had students come already on Wednesday. And so it's been kind of a crazy week. Wednesday wasn't too bad as far as technology, but I don't think everybody used their technology on the first day of school. It's not really the thing that you do. So Thursday was our crazy day. We didn't know what end was up most of the day. It's like running from one place to another. So it was kind of crazy. And then at night, I was trying to get ready. I have my first stamp club coming up this weekend and next week. So good morning, Kathy Miller. Good morning, Kelly. So it was kind of a crazy week, but I'm so excited to be with you today. I want to make sure that I announce that I will not be live next week because of it being the holiday weekend. I am going to be going up to our cottage for one last time, at least for the summer. Good morning, Shanna. Um, so anyhow, let's go ahead. I do have some happy mail. Oh my goodness, ladies, I had some really cool cards in the mail this week. So the first card that I received, so last week we did this fun fold with the candy canes, and I had received a card from Christine Bertram in a swap where she had used that fold, and I just kind of used that as my inspiration. Well, Sandy Calloway decided she was going to use that fold when she sent me a thank you note. Look at that little camper. Whoops, I'm holding on too far. There we go. Isn't that cute? That is some retired DSP. That was Christmas DSP, but you can't even tell it in here that it was Christmas. But isn't that just a really, really cute card? So thank you, Sandy. And she decorated off the envelope for me as well. I just love your creation. Good morning, Becky Weisky. And then I received this in the mail from Stephanie Rates, and this also was a little thank you note. And these were from our hand penned note cards, and that were in last year's catalog. So aren't those just so cool? And then the envelope is all decorated as well. Such fun mail. And then I'm trying to think what day it was. I think it was Wednesday night. I think it was my first day of school, and things were crazy. And I got home from work and I got busy. I had to feed Lila and I had a whole bunch of other things that I had to do. And it was probably wasn't until like about 11 o'clock or 11:30 when I was bringing Lila out to go potty before she went to bed. I had a little bit more work to do, but I knew she was going to be going into bed because she always puts herself to bed at my house. But anyway, um, I went out to my mailbox. I'm like, I don't even think I got the mail. And inside of it was this little card that said to Aunt Sarah from Olivia, who is my niece. And it was a little card that she was cleaning out her bedroom closet and found something that she had ordered for me for last Christmas. They didn't come in on time, so she thought she would drop them off to hopefully brighten my week. And they are some socks that have Lila's face on them. Aren't those cute? So that was a nice surprise after my first really long day of school. And I sent her a text yet that night. And I'm like, I'm really sorry I'm texting you tonight, but I'm afraid I'll forget tomorrow. I just went to my mailbox and they're so cute. So that was the happy mail that I received this week. So thank you all for the the fun mail. Looks like we have more people drop on. Julie Schleve, your prize that you won last week, Julie, I put in the mail yesterday when I mailed out my stamp club stuff to my ladies that are virtual. And Becky Weisky, same thing to you. You won a prize that you should be getting it probably today or maybe at the latest on Monday in the mail. So all the prizes went out yesterday. It was just that kind of week. So the prizes, which we're going to be getting to in just a second, these will be going out today because I have the envelopes all ready to go. Because when I was printing the other ones, I'm like, oh, I'm going to quickly do my random number generator and I'm going to get that taken care of. I'm going to print those labels and I'm going to be all set to go so that I was working smarter and not harder. When I had that program opened, I went ahead and did them. So last week, we used that Rings of Love and we used those tree ring dies, that hybrid thing. We made this Thinking of You card. And then I already showed you the candy cane card that we made in this little fun fold. And receiving these for commenting. So anytime you comment, I moved it out of the way, and now I couldn't find it. Anytime you comment, your name gets put into a drawing. And winning these today is Amanda Chavo. So Amanda, these will be coming your way. Look for them probably early part of next week. And then for sharing, so if you hit that share button and you share it either on your Facebook page or on another Facebook page, you get entered into a drawing to win some product as well. And so for sharing last week and receiving a pack, ooh, the glare there a little bit, of these adhesive back seasonal sequins, there's like a reddish color and a green and a gold, and I think that was it, is Karen Wetstein. So Karen, I will be getting these out in the mail to you. I can't imagine the cards that you're going to make really, really pretty with these sequences. And then for placing an order, so I have my host code this way. Everything's backwards for me on here. That host code, if you place an order that is under $150, if you would use that host code, it helps me with getting some of the prizes that I give away. If it's over $150, please don't use the host code because you will get those benefits yourself and you will get free product. So, but for placing an order last week and receiving this stamp set that's called Brightest Glow, and there are so many really, really cool Christmas greetings in here. Hoping your Christmas shines bright with the love of family and friends. May the peace of the season light your world, and may your new year be the brightest. A really cool Merry Christmas with some neat fonts. This is going to Barbara Schupanis. I'm not sure if I pronounced that correct, Barbara. Barbara is from Connecticut, and so I will be getting this off in the mail to you as well. So thank you all who placed orders. Thank you for all of you who shared my video and even all of you who commented. Excuse me. I really, really appreciate your support of my business. All right, are you ready to get stamping? Because I think I'm ready to. Let's go ahead and switch the camera and let's hope that we aren't as blurry as we were last week. I apologize for that. My camera disconnected. I'm not sure why it disconnected, but it did. And when it disconnected and came back up, it was just super blurry. All right, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to zoom in here a little bit. Oops, there we go. All right, so you can get those dimensions. We are making, I learned this layout from Kathy Miller, and I think she was on here this morning. I received this card from her in a swap. Isn't this beautiful? Sending good vibes, that butterfly. And I loved this layout that she had. And so I wanted to use that. I also had a card that I made, and I think a similar swap. I don't know which swap this was. I think this one was a different swap, but I had made this card for fall with that pumpkin set that I think it's called Rustic Harvest paper, and this cool, really cool pumpkin die. And so I decided I was going to take these two cards that were swap cards and I was going to combine them into the card that we're making this morning. And so I'm going to zoom back out. Hopefully you had a chance to take a screenshot if you wanted to. I will also post these measurements because I do have them in a document. And I apologize that last week I completely forgot after my Facebook Live. I completely forgot to post that document, but I did it last night. So I have my envelope. I'm going to set that over there. If I forget, somebody tell me that I forgot the envelope. We are using, oh, and I have Fitch instead of thick. Thick, very vanilla cardstock. I will fix that before I post it. This measures 8.5 inches by 5.5 inches, and it's scored at 4 1/4. So that's going to be our card base. I have some Mossy Meadow, and this is going to be for that inside panel. And this measures 1 7/8 by 3 1/8. And I already, through the magic of TV, ran it through the stripes and splatters 3D embossing folder to put those stripes on there. Okay, so that is going to be our centerpiece. I have also a piece of Mossy Meadow. I wanted to bring some of the Mossy Meadow onto the inside of the card. So I have a 4 by 5 1/4 inch, but that is too dark to write on. So then I did a very vanilla, that's 3 3/4 by 5, so that I had something that I could write on. So that's not too dark for writing on. And then I have had a scrap of soft suede. I'm going to bring these dies out so you can see these dies. These are really pretty cool. So we have these dies right here. And if you got this set, you maybe thought, what in the world are those supposed to be for? This is what makes our pumpkin. So we layer these on top of each other, and there is some little texture in there. So you can kind of see it's got like this little texture feature. And then there are these little squiggly things with little leaves on them to put at the top of the pumpkin. And then this is like the little stem part of the pumpkin, and that has some texture in it as well. And so what I did with the soft suede is I cut out that little top part, the stem part of our pumpkin. And then we have DSP. And I used that Mossy Meadow DSP. So I have 2 pieces that measure 1 inch by 4 1/4. Those are going to be for our sides because that's the long side. And then I have 2 pieces that measure 1 by 3, and that's going to be for our top and our bottom. All right. I also have a piece of Mossy Meadow. This I think was, oh, I didn't write this one down. I want to say that this was about 3/8 or 5/8 of an inch. I don't think it, I think it's 5/8 of an inch wide. And then I just cut it long enough to put my greeting on. You could put a different greeting, so it's entirely up to you. I have a little piece of the DSP that's going to go on the inside of my card. This is a 1/2 inch by 3 3/4. And then I had some scraps of regular Very Vanilla. And with those, I cut out the pieces that we need for our pumpkin. So I did that ahead of time on my stamp and cut and emboss machine. So this is just in some Very Vanilla. And then in Mossy Meadow, I cut out a few of those little curly things with the leaves. I'm going to put it on white and hold it up too because it kind of gets lost in my hand. So I did that one, and there's a longer one as well. So I cut those out that we're going to put on our pumpkin just to add a little something to our pumpkin. All right, let's go ahead and get our stamping done first, because once we get our stamping done, then our card goes together pretty fast. All right, this is going to be the inside piece of my card, and I have to get my stamps out here, and I have some embossing powder. I'm using some Mossy Meadow ink, and I have some Versamark. We're going to use 2 different colors. We're going to use some white embossing, and we are going to use some Mossy Meadow for the inside. So on the inside, I'm going to use You Are Such a Blessing. This is going to be a birthday card, a fall birthday card. And don't you just want to tell someone when it's their birthday and we're celebrating their life that they are a blessing? And so I just love this because you could use You Are Such a Blessing as a thank you to someone because they're being a blessing in your life for whatever they did for you. Um, Such a blessing on their birthday, just about any occasion, just a hello card. It could be anything. So I'm going to throw my Mossy Meadow ink away, or put it away, not throw it away. Don't want to throw it away. I love that color. Then I'm going to bring in this happy birthday stamp. This comes from, I don't even remember the name of the stamp set. I should have put it here, but it has birthday thinking of you, and I think it's just a note. And it's all different fonts of those greetings. So it gives you a bunch of varieties of those greetings. So I'm just going to stamp the happy birthday. I got it up a little bit high on here. Should have been down a little bit. This is going to go into my white embossing powder, which I dropped. My spoon is covered right now. So we'll just get a little bit of it on there. Whoops, it looks like I got disconnected again. Not sure what's happening with my phone. It says a network error. Okay, I'm back. How long did I miss you? You lost the video. Okay, here we go. I'm back. Hopefully, I'm just going to make sure that, okay, I think I'm back. I'm watching on Facebook and there's like about a 5-second delay or more. And let me just go on to this. I'm going to stop this. There we go. Maybe I have to stop putting those videos in. They seem to be throwing things off. Let's go ahead. Sorry, ladies. Let me just delete this. Oh my goodness. I just have to put all this fancy stuff right. Get out of it. Let's make it silent so you don't get that, and we'll pause it. All right. I'm just going to let that go. I don't think you're hearing it. Oh, and it looked like it stopped. So that's good. I don't know why it kept starting. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'll have to stop doing that and I'll just put my old graphic in because I don't know what's going on there. Oh, but I'm back. Thanks, Sue. Yeah, it's a cute rainbow, right? It was a cute little timer counting down. But I think it might be what's causing my camera to keep disconnecting. So, because it was playing again. So, anyhow, I'll try to keep a better watch on it. I was not watching my screen, and all of a sudden I looked up and I'm like, oh, my camera's not connected. So this is our happy birthday, and through the magic of TV, I have that heat emboss that you don't have to sit and listen to my heat tool making that pop. All right, I'm going to bring in our, this is a, I don't even know the name of this. I usually have little stickers on. I didn't do that on this one. This is where you can go ahead and punch to make a cute little ribbon end, or this one happens to be a little bit more of a designer end. And my size is a little bit off from a standard size. So I just try to center it up in the back. Okay, so that gives me that little punch on the end. You can see that. And we'll go ahead and put it in, make sure I put it in the correct one. So I've got the same little design on either end. So really, really quick and easy to do that with a punch, and you don't even need a die for it. All right, I think we are ready to get some of this out of our way and put this card together. So let's go ahead and start with adding this piece onto our Mossy Meadow. I have a newer glue. I opened it last night because I was at the end of one. I always sometimes push it a little bit further than I should, and then I sit there and it's like trying to get it out, and it's you can't even feel that there's anything in it anymore, but I'm going to get the most out of it as I can. And so I sit and then I'm like, why am I wasting all this time shaking my glue? It's empty. Open a new one. You've used this one for a month. It's time to go on and get a new one. All right, this is our inside. Oh shoot. You know what I forgot to do? With all of the disconnecting of my camera, I forgot to add this little piece, and I had cut it just a little bit longer so I could trim it off. So I'm going to see if I can just kind of guess where this is supposed to be and snip that off. That's what happens when technology throws you off. I work in technology every day, and I'm a educational technology coordinator for a school system. And yeah, I know how challenging it can be for teachers in the classroom and for people like me doing something like this. All right, so there is that. And I really didn't give this a good burnish. So let me bring my bone folder in here. With this thicker cardstock, you have to make sure that now I want to make sure I build this on the right side. That'll be the next thing that I do wrong. All right, so these panels are going to make a frame on our card, like Kathy's card did with the butterflies. So I'm just right now going to sort of dry fit this for you to show you what this is going to look like. So I'm trying to make a border that's pretty even around the edges. Okay, and then the longer ones are going to be on the sides, and then the shorter ones are going to be on the top and the bottom. So this is so easy to do, really. I mean, you're just cutting some, basically some leftover pieces of your DSP. You know, you sometimes have some leftover pieces. I'm just gonna kind of set this in here for now. All right, goodness gracious, I feel like I'm all thumbs today. And then this piece that has the background color is going to go in the middle. Okay, so that's what our card is going to look like. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to glue this down. I'm going to kind of keep the other pieces there so that they can kind of help guide me as to where to put this down. Because once the glue is down, even though I'm using liquid glue, I have a little bit of wiggle room. But if I have to move the if I'm on the last one, I'm not going to have a really easy time moving the first one that I laid down. So when I made this last night for the first time, because I really didn't have time during the week to get ready for my Facebook Live, this is how I did it. I just kind of did a dry fit to make sure that everything was going to line up. Um, I don't know if that's how other people who've made this have done it, but for me, it was the safest way. Let's put it that way, to make sure that I had everything line up and I had enough space for everything and that everything looked kind of even. And go ahead and throw a little glue on that. And I'm just kind of moving my card around so it's close by here. So I'm lining up because this one I can see the edge that it has to be, and then I'm going to slide this down just a little bit to leave a little bit more space in there. And then the last one. It really isn't that difficult, but I don't know how difficult it would be if you just tried to eyeball it. I don't know. I'm not a good person for eyeballing it. I like to kind of dry fit things out and lay them out first to make sure that everything fits. And then this is going to go in the center. Now I did see some of these online when I was looking at this technique online, where they ended up doing like an eighth of an inch smaller and layered something there, and then they just put like a greeting there with some ribbon. You could do that. You could also have your card go the landscape way rather than the portrait way if you wanted to. Okay, now we're going to get our work on our pumpkin. And I'm like, oh goodness, tell me I still have this. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and attach the little stem. I'm gonna just point out, so with this pumpkin, there is the bottom is going to be your part that's a little bit wider, and this is a little bit narrower. And same thing here, you're gonna go narrow and then a little bit wider. It's a little bit hard to tell on this one. You just have to kind of set it in there to see which way it goes. So this is gonna go down here and attach to our pumpkin. And then this I'm going to put on with some dimensionals. It'll give it some dimension and it looks really cool that way. So I'm going to go ahead and add some of our dimensionals. And pull those off. I don't have fancy fingernails, so they pull off pretty easily. I know some people use their take your pick tool. I've tried that and it's nice because it keeps them all like on the little pointy thing, but I have a harder time with that. So I'm going to go ahead and add some liquid glue. I sometimes end up stabbing them. And then it's like, okay, it's taking me longer to do it this way than it is to if I would just peel them off. So I'm just going to set that down on that DSP, and I'm just going to give it a good, or on that embossed folder. So because it's an embossed folder, I'm just going to make sure I press that down really good. Okay, so there's our little pumpkin, and now we want to add a little fun to it. So I am going to take my take your pick tool. There's some little, that's, I'm going to put that over here. And we've got this little one that has leaves that we'll put over there just to add a little green to that white pumpkin. So when I put this glue on, you just want to be, you don't want glue oozing out. I should have used some adhesive sheets, but I forgot. And so I'm just kind of finding the bigger areas. The other thing that you could do is use a silicone mat and a little sponge dauber, and you could add some glue that way as well. Doesn't really need a lot. It just needs a little dab to hold it down in place. Whoops, it looks like I have another little thing here. There we go. All right, dab of glue here and there, and this should be able to be set down. I just kind of spread it with the tip a little bit. There we go. All right, so that just added a little bit of curl. And then our happy birthday is just going to go right over the top of that a little bit towards the bottom. And so all I need is a little bit of glue in the center part. And you could actually put it right on the pumpkin if you wanted to. Right, so I just want that to go right there for my happy birthday. Whoops, to put it that way. We need to add a little something to this. So I brought in some of our rustic metallic. I love these for fall cards. And manly cards. They're so pretty. I'm just going to take a couple of these smaller ones and put it at the end of that. And then I have some of our linen thread, and doesn't look like I must have moved my bow maker. Let me grab one. It's over here. I have one at both workstations, and these ended up at the same workstation. I'm using my bow maker only because I want to make a double bow, which means I'm going to wrap it around those little prongs twice. So you wrap it around, you bring one over the top of the other, and the one that's over the top, you swing around in the back, and then you just tie it in a knot. Okay, so that gave me two little bows, or two pieces of the twine, making that. And then I want to bring in my bone folder, and just like you curl ribbon, I just want to curl up this linen thread a little bit to make it kind of look more, a little bit curly, kind of like the little curly things coming from the pumpkin. And I have a glue dot here. And I'm just going to take my Take Your Pick tool, that pointy end, and I'm just going to kind of roll the glue dot into a little ball. And I want that to be in the center of the pumpkin, and that's where I'm going to put the knot of my bow. So I'm going to put that down and then press that knot right into that glue dot. All right, so there is our little fun fall birthday card. This could, even though it has that little bow on, this could go to a man, it could go to a woman, it could, I mean, you could give it to anyone. You could put a thinking of you here instead of a happy birthday. You could put a thank you there, and you're such a blessing. All right, let's get a matching envelope here. I didn't forget. I have a very vanilla envelope and a little bit of that DSP. And I'm just going to go ahead and throw on my envelope so that whoever gets this next week, when we do, or not next week, it'll be in 2 weeks, when I do that drawing, you will have a matching envelope for the card. And I love giving these cards away to those of you that are watching because I love it when there's no way I could use all of the cards that I make. So I always have one made already as a sample. So that's the one that I use. And then there's one for somebody else to give away. All right, so we have card number 1. And I called this the panel frame. I think, Kathy, that's what we came up with as a name. I don't know if you're still watching, but this designer series paper, Sue, is called the Rustic Harvest. It's the one that has all the pumpkins. Let me grab it. I did have a sheet with all of the samples, but I don't know where it went. So on one side of it is black and white, as you saw. We've already used this for our card that we did the book fold, and we used this one with the book fold. So these two look really nice together. There's some that has, look at, I've used a lot of this. I did a swap where I had to do 4 cards with this. There's this one that is just absolutely gorgeous as well, that has some leaves and some different gourds and stuff on it. There's one that has pumpkins. And then there is, let me see if I have a full sheet of one of these. Yes. These beautiful, I don't know if those are supposed to be mums or what kind of flowers those are supposed to be, but isn't that gorgeous? You could just cut this and use that as your card, really. So that is called the Rustic Harvest. I want to make sure on that. Yes, Rustic Harvest Designer Series paper. All right, let me go ahead and put this back. And we will go on to the fun fold that I came across that I'm so excited to share with you because it's a fun fold that I haven't done before. And I love when I find new things and I can try new things. And then if I find that I like the new things, then I get to share them with you as well. And so I'm calling this an interlocking, what did I call it? Gate book fold. So it is a gatefold, but it also is one of our book folds as well. It's going to have both features on it, and I'm going to zoom in here. Hopefully that doesn't, I don't ruin anything by doing that. Let's see, where's my mouse? There it is. Okay, so we'll zoom in so that if you wanted to take a picture of the dimensions, again, I will post these afterwards. I'll get my stuff out here. I have my envelope and paper. So we are going to be having to say goodbye to this fun one. The hippest hippos this is the last week, folks, for Celebration. So if you did not get this hippest hippos and you still want this, this is your last week, because Celebration ends at the end of this month, which is on Wednesday of this week. So this is your last chance. So I'm going to go ahead and zoom back out. Whoops, I went too far out now it looks like. There we go. All right, and so we are using Blackberry Bliss for this card, which is a color that I absolutely love. Okay, so this is a piece of cardstock that's cut in half. So this is 4 1/4 and this is 11. What I did was I scored this at, on this end, 2 1/8, 3 3/8, and 8 7/8. Okay, so this is actually 2 1/8 from this end. Okay, how you're going to fold this card is we're going to make a gatefold. So I'm going to go ahead and fold on this one. I'm going to fold on this one to make my gatefold. Okay, so see how that opens up. It's a gatefold that's not centered, really, it's off to the side. But really it is going to be centered because on this other score line, I'm going to fold that back and we're going to glue that down eventually. So remember those book folds? I did one last week with a leaf, and now I have a gatefold here. This is going to open up like that, and I've got a book fold on this end. I hadn't seen that before. Oh, hi, Mary. I just saw that you joined on YouTube. Thanks for joining us on YouTube as well. Mary, that's okay. All right, so I am going to, this one uses a lot of DSP, and the DSP that we are going to use is, I think it's called Design a Pattern. You have to be a hostess to be able to order this designer series paper. It comes in a huge pack, and it has a bunch of really, really, really cool designs. And we're going to use this design today. I think this goes like that. Yeah. So we are going to use this fun, look at those fun colors that are on there. And then for our little bookbinding side, we are going to use this piece of that. So these measure, let me look at my directions here. This measures 1 7/8 by 4. So there are 2 of those. And this one measures 1 inch by 4. So pretty easy, right? We need a piece for the inside. And this measures 4 by 4. And that's just going to go on this inside piece right here. And then what I did was I took some of the other colors that are in here, and I'm using my fabulous frames. These are fabulous. I love the name because it's perfect. And when you cut this out, it cuts out the frame and it cuts out the oval that's on the inside. So through the magic of TV, I did run this through my Big Shot already. And so I took the frame of the Blackberry Bliss. Okay, so I wanted that frame. And then I ran it through again with some petal pink. And I got the inside part to be petal pink because that's another one of the colors that is in this paper. All right. I have a little strip, forgot to bring this out before. I have a little strip of that striped paper that's going to go on the inside of our card. I did stamp and cut out our little hippo already, so you didn't have to watch me do that. So we're going to use the little hippo that's holding the flower. Isn't he or she really cute? Okay, so we're going to be using that. And then I didn't know what I wanted to do. So when I did mine last night, I used just a strip of paper to put my greeting on. But in here, there's also this cool die. So I thought, well, maybe if I changed my card just a little bit, we could use this. And I don't know if you can see this, but there's like an embossing on there that has like a little rectangle. And then there's the outside piece as well. So we'll see, we'll try both of them and see what works the best. All right, before we put it together, let's take a little time to color up our hippo. And then we have to also do a little bit of stamping. So the colors that I'm using for my hippo, I have some gray granite, the dark, light, and the dark. This is the Blackberry Bliss because that's the color of my cardstock, and this is the dark Blackberry Bliss. I have a dark granny apple green, and I have a dark petal pink. Now the petal pink I didn't use, the only place that I really used it was kind of in his ears here, and I kind of did those first. Um, and I kind of went over it with some of the grays, so you don't really see that all that much. I'm going to use the lighter color of the gray granite for his little snout here and his little belly, or her. So I'm going to go ahead and actually, you know what? I think I'm going to color in this little Blackberry Bliss. Whoa, that never happened before. My whole blend came apart. There we go. Put it back together here. I pulled too hard on it, I guess, or I pushed the cover on too tight. All right, so I'm coloring in the flower with that Blackberry Bliss color. Now I was thinking I would do the ballerina with this one. The ballerina was just a little bit too tall that it went off the circle, which wouldn't be that big of a deal, but I'm going to be interlocking these two things. So this is going to be on one side, and then this is going to close and come into here to hold my gatefold together. So I couldn't have, this fits perfectly on there. The little ballerina, she would have been hanging off the side. Okay, so now I'm going to be using the light gray granite. And like I said, I'm just going to go ahead and color this in. These are the easiest. The blends are so nice for coloring. I find that because of the alcohol marker, it just like makes everything look, you can't see any of your lines that you went back and forth, or if you went in a circle, you really can't tell. You can color however you want to color with them, and they blend. So you can't see any of those lines. So I'm going to go in here, just get the little belly part of it with the light. All right. And then we're going to use the darker color for the face and body. And I'm just going to try to get around that little bit of pink. There we go. See, you hardly see that there's pink in there, but I left a little bit so that you could see just a tad bit of the pink. I'm just going to go ahead and color in the face and the rest of the body. Now, I'm going to make this a little female hippo, and I'm going to bring my petal pink back out here and give her some colored nails, toenails and fingernails. We'll give that little petal pink. She's not going to have really, really bright nails, but she's going to have some colorful nails. All right, finish coloring this in. This little hippo you can color pretty quickly. And I thought about making it a cow because some of you have seen how you can just take your black marker and you can put some spots on it and turn this into a cow. And here in Wisconsin, we love our cows, right? With the dairy state. And I'm just going to color little pink nails. There we go for our hippo. All right, we have a little bit of stamping to do. So I want to do that so that when we're finished, we can just, with the stamping, we can just go ahead and put this all together. Put all this stuff back in my cart there. So I have some Blackberry Bliss. And on the inside, I'm going to put, "Aw, you really are the best." And I'm going to have this nice little line on my wood here. I should actually be on a scrap. I think I did pretty good there. And then "Love you a ton." We're going to try putting that on this. And if it doesn't look good on there, or if it's too big, I'm going to also stamp it on that strip, because this was something I decided I wanted to try after I had made one last night. So love you a ton. We're also going to put it on here. And we'll decide what looks best when we go to put it together. All right, that's it for stamping. We really don't have that much stamping in either one of these cards. Okay, on this card, I'm either going to add this pink ribbon or I'm going to add this pool party sheer ribbon. Right now, you get a chance to vote. Which do you want me to use? Should we use the pool party or should we use the petal pink ribbon? So go ahead and vote. And I'm going to keep putting this together while the votes come in. And this little strip is just going to go along the bottom on the inside just to bring some of that fun color from the front to the inside party of our card. Oh, you really are the best. I just love that. And that is going to go right inside up there. Okay. All right, so I centered that on the inside. Then on the outside, we are going to have our DSP. So we've got the bigger pieces, the wider pieces are going to go on either side of the gatefold. So there's one of our gatefolds. Let's see what we got. Petal pink, petal pink. Oh my gosh. Pink, 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 pool party, pink, pool party, pink. Okay, it looks like pink is winning so far. So if you want pool party, get your vote in. We got a lot of pink going on. Let's see. Do I have any vote from Mary? All right. And then this little piece, this 1-inch strip is going to be on the side here of our book binding. And I think pink is winning. And I did pool party on my one that I did last night, so we'll do pink on this one. With this pink, it's a little bit thicker and a little bit heavier. So rather than tying a bow, we're just going to tie a knot. So I'm going to run this through here before I close my book binding so that I can close it. Let's see here. So we need about right there. And again, I like to put my knots not right smack dab center, but rather up towards the top, because otherwise it looks like I'm trying to center them and I couldn't get it centered. All right, so we're just going to tie a knot with this because it would be a little bit thick to tie it in a bow. Okay, so there's our pink knot. I do like the pink. I did the blue last night. So now we want this to stay shut and we want this to be nice and secure. So I'm going to bring in some of my tear and tape and I'm going to run the tear and tape on either side of that ribbon that I have down there. So I'm going to put a piece right here and a piece on the other side so that this stays nice and securely closed. And that after time, it doesn't automatically start pulling up. I'm going to put that in my little scrap bin here. And we'll just close that. So now we have our book fold on this end, but yet we have a gate fold for our book fold. So fun, right? Something a little bit different that you weren't expecting. I had not seen this. I don't know if anyone else has seen it. I'm going to put my interlocking gatefold, the interlocking part of it up a little bit so that I have room for this down here. My other one I had down a little bit further. So what I need to do for this is I need to put some dimensionals on just the left-hand side. So my frame, I'm going to attach on my left-hand side. The inside oval part of it, I'm going to only attach on the right-hand side of it so that they can interlock. And that'll make maybe a little bit more sense when I actually have it put together. So I'm going to take some dimensionals, and these are my mini ones, but I'm still going to cut some of those in half to make sure that I have small enough. I just did a card for my stamp club where we had to cut some of these mini ones as well. We were using that Fond of Autumn, and we used the fun, it like cuts out and details that big swag that we had used in the card that I used the watercolor pencils with a couple weeks ago. And I wanted to have that on dimensionals, but there were so many openings in it that the little pieces of paper that we had were so small that the mini dimensionals worked better. Okay, let's use one more of these. I've got one more, we're going to use it. You don't want to go all the way to the tip because your tip is going to be, I maybe don't need another one here. Your tip is going to be in the middle. So, all right, let's get these off of here. This is a little bit putsy, but well worth it because you do have to cut these dimensionals, but it's a fun way to keep a gatefold together is to have something that can interlock. Now you can do this with the different colored or the different sized circle dies. You know, cut two different colors. You could cut you could take the scalloped one and then cut the circle out of the middle and then put a different circle in the inside. I think that's gonna hold. I think we're good. Might throw one more up at the top here. I apologize, I'm getting out of the camera a little bit. I just have to see it a little bit better. Just gonna cut one more. I like to have this top part as tight, as close to that fold as I can without going over. That looks pretty good. Okay, because I don't want it to stick to the inside. All right, now to get this in, what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna go ahead and apply some liquid glue to just the right-hand side. I'm gonna have it closed and set the oval inside of it, just like that, and press that down on the right side. So my oval is going to be on this side, the frame is going to be on the right, and they're going to interlock like that to keep it closed. Isn't that cool? It's kind of a fun way to keep your gatefolds closed if you can just layer some circles, some scallops, some squares, whatever you want to use, so that it stays closed. Now this can go right down here. Now we have to decide which side we want to put this on. I'm going to go ahead and attach it to my left side with a dimensional. And then we're going to put our hippo. We'll throw some dimensionals on her as well. Make sure we're still connected here. I'm sorry if I've missed any of your comments. Yeah, I'm glad you guys are liking the fold. I hadn't seen this before and I found it online. I can't even remember. I feel bad. I should give credit to the demonstrator that I found it from, but I don't remember. All right. Let's go ahead and get our Wink of Stella in here. And let's just add a little bit of that. This is the part that you don't see very well, but I'm just going to add it to that flower to give it a little glimmer. Put that back. And let's take some, thought I threw them in here, I did. Some of our iridescent rhinestones. These things just sparkle and they kind of have a little bit of a pink to them, which we have the pink in there. And I think I'm just going to add them. I use different rhinestones and I put them in the center. Let's see, I can't pick that up with the putty right now. What if we put it right there? I like that. And we'll put this one right here. All right, love you a ton. And then we open it up. Oops. You really are the best. And then we slide it back in here again to lock it back into place. Right. Here it is with the blue ribbon. Kind of gets lost a little bit. It's a little bit sheerer, but I did that in a bow. And then instead of using that label, I used how we had cut this one out. I just went ahead and cut that on a slant. And I used some little pink gems that I had that sparkle a little bit, and I put them on the DSP, but they sort of got lost. I like the rhinestones there. Okay, so again, open that up and then slide it back in there to lock it in place. All right, so let's do an envelope. I have a white envelope. I'm going to throw all this stuff in my bucket so I can put it away. Actually, some of it I need for my stamp club, so I've got to keep it out, so I'll have to go through some of it, but let's add a little glue to the flap here. And just love the colors in this. There's like old olive and so saffron and the blackberry bliss. Let's see, here's my scissors. Pool party. I'm trying to think some of the other colors. I think that's about it. It's just a fun paper. Even look at that petal pink side there. Okay, so which one do you end up liking better? Do you like the pink ribbon? Do you like the blue ribbon? Do you like the label? And then here is our other card that we made earlier with our pumpkin with that panel frame layout that I followed from Kathleen Miller. So just a fun little, like, taking your book fold, making it look just a little bit different by adding that gatefold to it. I don't know why that one's sticking a little bit. I'll have to work on that a little bit. But yeah, those are our fun cards for this week. I hope that you will have some time to do some stamping this weekend and create some things yourself. I will, as soon as I finish here, I will post, so I don't forget, I will post the dimensions so that you have them. Again, I called the second one that I did, it's called the Interlocking Gate Book Fold because it interlocks, it has a gate fold and it has a book fold. So I just put all of that together. And then the other one I called the panel frame. I'm not sure if that's what it's called. That's what Kathy and I were kind of calling it, I think. So anyhow, thank you so much. Just a last plug, if you did still want those hippest hippos or anything else that's in celebration, your last chance is until Wednesday. and I haven't heard that they've gone like out of stock or anything. But I will admit that I was a little bit busy this week and did not keep up with Stampin' Up! News. So, but I think everything is still available. I haven't seen any, well, not everything. The camper dies have been gone for a while, and some of that stuff. There was something else that they were out of stock of early on. Mm-mm-mm. Why am I drawing a blank? You haven't been able to get it for a really long. Oh, the paper, the gold and silver paper, I think is the other one. So, anyhow, thank you so much for joining me. Oh, Shanna, you just ordered the hippos. Good. You can go ahead and play with them. And here's a card that you can make when they come in, because you could really use any DSP with that. So anyhow, I'm gonna head off to get this stuff in my mailbox, and I have to make a meal for a coworker who is going through cancer treatment, and so make it a great day. Have a wonderful weekend, a great week. I will not see you next Saturday, but I will be here again this Saturday after. I'm going to try to pop on before my card buffet, which is at 9 o'clock. So I'm going to be on at 8. And if people start coming at 9, that's okay. They can come in and start working and I'll finish up. But I should finish up. Like right now, it's 9 o'clock. Perfect timing. So you have yourself a great weekend. See you in 2 weeks.